Going on, guys, with a throwdown. My name is Declan Smith. I'm going to be taking you through a first round in-depth mock draft. So I'm going to give you reasoning and in-depth analysis on every draft pick. Let's head into the draft room. Number 1, the Chicago Bears are up. This one, I don't think I need to give that much in-depth to this one, but it seems like it's going to be a pretty simple choice. It's going to be Caleb Williams. Even just today, Keenan Allen showed up at his pro day, who's a recent Chicago Bear. They built a massive team, in free agency the last 2 years, in the draft free agency, and then they kicked out Fields, so they're going to quarterback. Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in this draft. It's a clear choice here. The Commanders at 2. I used to think this was a trade down spot until they just traded Sam Howell to the Seahawks. I don't think they're going to go for Drake May, his replacement. I think Dan Quinn coming from Seattle. I know he wasn't the offensive coordinator, the head coach. Coming from Dallas. Both the times he was there, he had, more mobile quarterbacks. Someone who can make plays outside the pocket. I think Dan Quinn wants to continue that on. Number 2 pick is definitely going to be a quarterback, and I'm thinking it's going to be Jaden Daniels. Number 3, the Patriots. I have this being a trade down spot with the Vikings. And the reason I have that is because the Vikings have been stocking up draft picks, even thinking about trading away Justin Jefferson. I think the Vikings would move up here if they saw Drake May at 3 still on the board. I think they have Drake May significantly over J.J. McCarthy, as most teams should. Doesn't sound like they actually do, though. I think the Vikings give up 2 first-round picks in this draft to move up right here. At the 3 spot, I see another quarterback coming off the board now that the Vikings are up. I think they're going to go with Drake May here over J.J. McCarthy. Kirk Cousins just left Minnesota to go to the Falcons. So they're definitely looking at a quarterback here. Trading up, it's a clear pick here, Drake May. The 4 spot, I don't think Arizona will be trading down considering they have another first-round pick. So I think this is going to be a solid lock pick. Marvin Harrison seems like the best choice here considering the pass rush depth. There's also a lot of wide receiver depth, but Marvin Harrison is the clear number 1 receiver in this draft. And I think the Arizona Cardinal thinks that too. And they'll come off the board here at 4. This 5 spot, I used to think it was going to be a tackle to the Chargers. But after getting rid of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, I'm thinking it's going to have to be a receiver. Whoever they fancy between, Odunze or Neighbors, they have the complete choice here for whoever they want. But I'm thinking it's Neighbors. I've heard a lot of reports in the recent weeks that a lot of teams actually have Neighbors over Marvin. So I'm assuming they have him over Odunze too. I think Malik Neighbors comes off the board here at 10. Or at 5, sorry. Number 6 right here. I'm thinking this is a trade down even though McCarthy is still on the board. I think that the Giants are going to stick it out with Daniel Jones for another year. Wait for next year to draft a quarterback if need be because they just gave Daniel Jones that massive contract. They're going to let, Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, and Tommy DeVito all battle out in New York. See who comes out on top. I don't think they're going to add a 4th QB to that room in this draft, in the first round at least. So I'm thinking it's a trade spot to the Denver Broncos. All right, trade has gone through. The Denver Broncos are now up, and they're looking at quarterback, just getting rid of Russ. They haven't really picked up another quarterback this free agency. J.J. McCarthy is going to be their number 1 at this point on the board. Not Bo Nix, not Penix. J.J. McCarthy's coming off the board here. All right, Tennessee Titans are up. Good draft last year, getting Peter Skoronski in the first round. I think they're going to stick to getting O-line. The Titans are choosing between Joe Alt and J.C. Latham here. I think Olu might fall a little further than people expect. For some reason, I don't know. Players always do that in the draft. I think Olu's going to be one of those. I've seen him going down on boards recently. He's still top 3 on mine. Yeah, the Titans are going to be eyeing the lineman here for sure. I think it's going to be Alt. His combine performance, his tape has solidified him as the first tackle off the board. They need a tackle desperately. Their 2 tackles right now are Dylan Radins and Nicholas Petit Frere. Sorry if I botched that, but yeah, not very great options. Not what they want to be seeing right now. So Joe Alt coming off the board at number 7. The Atlanta Falcons up. Looking at pass rush here is what I assume. They could use some corner help. Just losing Jeff Okudah wasn't a massive starter for them, but he did play a bit. I'm thinking that teams are liking Dallas Turner the most. I like Jared Verse more, but these teams look at something other than film, I guess. Dallas Turner with his speed. Teams are gonna like that. Seeing this new wave of speedy pass rushers like Micah Parsons. I think that Dallas Turner is gonna come off the board here at 8. Bears back up at number 9. I think they're eyeing some defense here after getting Caleb Williams at 1. They're probably gonna get some pass rush help, whether that be D tackle or edge rusher. I think Jared Verse is going to come off the board here from Florida State. Big, strong defender to pair with Montez Sweat. Kind of have the same play style, too. Their corner room is solid. Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson. I think that they're going to focus on pass rush here in the first round with their second pick. Jets on the board here at 10. I think it's finally time for Rome Odunze to come off the board. The receivers are, lackluster. They only have one good receiver, and it's Garrett Wilson. They really do need an elite wide receiver, too, and I think that Rome Odunze will step on the field and be a wide receiver 1 for them, but that's a debate for another day. Rome Odunze comes off the board here. Another great pass catcher for Aaron Rodgers next year. The New England Patriots on the clock after just trading down. Just got rid of Trent Brown. He went to the Bengals 2 days ago. It's looking like they're going to take a tackle here, because they have another first-round pick. So whichever, quarterback falls to them after letting Mac Jones go, or trading him, I should say, to the Jaguars. I don't think Olu is going to go here. I think it's going to be J.C. Latham to the Patriots at 11. The hype around J.C. Latham has been growing increasingly. Reports coming out that he is the number 1 tackle on people's boards over Joe Alt even. So I think the Patriots are going to go with him. He's a big wrecking ball. He's like a fucking little boulder that just rolls you over. I love his film. I still think Olu's better than him. I think he is better than Joe Alt, though. So J.C. Latham coming off the board at 11. Giants, after trading down, back on the clock. And they can do a few things here. I do think that they're going to let those 3 quarterbacks, DeVito, Jones, and Drew Lock, fight it out in training camp and not pick up another QB in the first round. But do they go receiver, or do they go corner, or do they go tackle and replace Evan Neal already? I don't think so. I think they go corner here. I think they go get the best corner on the draft, Quinion Mitchell. Their corners, let's look them up. Deonte Banks and Trey Hawkins are not going to cut it. Deonte Banks, who I was high on last year, he's going to have a good career, but Trey Hawkins is going to need a replacement here. Quinion Mitchell coming off the board here. The Raiders up. I think they're going to let Aiden O'Connell, take the job again. Antonio Pierce has gained a lot of respect, so I think people are going to, let him do what he wants to do. Let him do what he thinks is right. I think they're going to go defensive on this pick. Just getting Christian Wilkins in free agency. I think that the Raiders are going to go corner here. I think the Raiders are going to go with the second best corner in this draft, Terrion Arnold. There's not really anyone that rivals with him at this point. Nate Wiggins is, within talks. Kool-Aid is on the fence of talking, but I think Terrion Arnold is going to be elite in the NFL at the next level. I think a lot of scouts like him a lot more than most of the corners in this draft, if not all of them. The Saints back up. They're looking to improve their O-line here, and I think this is where Olu comes off the board, dropping way farther than he should have. But good players drop all the time, We've been seeing it recently, his draft stock dropping for some reason. I haven't been able to put my finger on it. Just going down boards rapidly. Olu comes off the board here. Trevor Penning didn't work out, unfortunately. He's, obviously had some injuries, so you can't blame it completely on him. but he's just hasn't been as good as people thought he was going to be, as good as I thought he was going to be. And I think that Olu comes off the board here to help. Also, Ryan Ramczyk is kind of getting older, I think. I think he's like 30. Yeah, he's 29 years old. He is still one of the best tackles in the league. I was just talking about this the other day. He is probably one of the most top 3 underrated players in the whole league. But, yeah, just solidify your line for the next, 3 years that Ryan has left. 3-4 years, of his elite stage. Olu comes off the board here at 14. Colts up on the clock. They're not going to go receiver here. Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, we signed those guys, Josh Downs. Pretty good receiving core already. They could go tight end. They could get Brock Bowers here. I don't think they're going to, though. I think they're going to go defensive line. Probably a pass rusher, one of the big pass rushers. Someone I see jumping a lot in this class is Darius Robinson. There's always someone who jumps really high in the late, come up to the draft, and there's someone who falls really low. We called it last year. We told you that Myles Murphy was going to drop really low. If you go back to our second video we ever posted, first video we ever posted on this YouTube, we did a mock draft, and it was about 3 months before the draft, and we said, yeah, Myles Murphy's going to drop. I think that we're going to be calling it this year Darius Robinson or, okay, hear me out on this one, or, I'm spaced on his name, so I got to find him. Chris Braswell from Alabama. Could be a late riser as well. Darius Robinson is going to come off the board here at 15 to the Colts. Just a super fast, get off the ball linebacker, outside linebacker. Someone who's going to be consistently putting up sack numbers for the Colts for the next few years, which is desperately needed by that team. Seahawks on the board. Probably going to go back to old Seahawk things and trade back. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Brock Bowers is still on the board here and they took him with only having one tight end on their whole, depth chart. Center Evan Brown did just get signed to the Cardinals, so they are missing, and Damian Lewis got signed to the Panthers, so they are missing their starting guard and center. Oluwatimi is coming up this year, though, for the center position, I believe. Oluwatimi is going to come up for the center position this year. Anthony Bradford's going to play the other guard position, and they're missing a guard spot at left guard. So I think they're going to trade back, get a draft pick in the second round, too, and take a guard in the second round. So I think it's a trade back spot. Someone who's trying to trade up to get, one of the big tackles in this draft. Dallas Cowboys had called up the Seahawks. They want to get a replacement for Tyron Smith pretty soon, sooner than later, especially with this stacked draft. They want who they think is going to be the best. And I think that's Talisi Fuagu. Sorry if I botched that name, out of Oregon State. He's just a big, mean, put you on your ass type, tackle. And he's going to come off the board here. Jacksonville Jaguars up on the clock. They're looking corner here, I think. Just got back Josh Allen. Trayvon Walker put up good numbers last year. Not great interior D-line, but this D-line class is actually kind of underratedly stacked. It can go deep pretty, second round you can still get a good player. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're looking at corners here, and I think their guy is going to be Nate Wiggins. Super speedy corner. Good height, not great weight. I mean, you can always put on weight. You can't grow taller. So, super fast. You don't need to be running a 4.28. You might say, putting on weight is going to ruin his 40 time. You don't need to be running a 4.28 as a corner. Anything in the 4.3s, 4.4s, that's perfectly fine. Great instincts, very long corner. Able to break on a ball quick. I think that's going to fit in perfect with the Jags system, what they want to be doing. Bengals up on the clock. First year in a while that I haven't mocked them getting a lineman, or at least a tackle with just got Trent Brown, Orlando Brown last year. I think they're going to be going Brock Bowers here. They did just get Mike Gesicki, but Mike Gesicki did fall off the face of the planet. Could be running a lot more two tight ends. Joe Burrow did like his tight end in college. Um, might come back to that. I don't think, you could be thinking this right now. I don't think that the Bengals are going to trade for Justin Jefferson. I don't think that Justin Jefferson is going to get traded. Bengals up here at 18. They just lost DJ Reader to the Lions. I think they're going to be looking at one of the D tackles in this draft, Jerson Newton or Byron Murphy, whoever they like more. I'm thinking Jerson Newton. He's been the number one D tackle for a long time. I like him as the number one D tackle. I think it's going to stick that way. Comes off the board here at 18. Rams up on the clock here. This whole offseason, I've put them at, a corner. I don't think they're going corner anymore. I think Peyton Wilson has bumped himself into the first round. I was just looking at their depth chart again, looking at their linebackers. Ernest Jones. I do like Ernest Jones, to be honest. Christian Roseboom, he's all right. But when you got someone like Peyton Wilson coming in, who is 6'3", right? I believe. 6'3", 6'4". Yeah, 6'4", 233 pounds. He can run 4.42 or something like that. 4.44. Yeah, so he ran a 4.43 official at 6'3", 233 pounds. Absolute monster coming off the board here. Steelers up to pick. Great offseason by them, bringing in Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Patrick Queen. They're looking to improve on receivers, though, just trading Deontay Johnson. Stat class, looking at Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. 6'4", fast, strong hands, good red zone threat. That's what George Pickens is, too. I think that they're going to drool over the fact of having two George Pickens on their team, though. Brian Thomas coming off the board here at number 20 to the Steelers. Now, the Dolphins. This is where Brock Bowers is going to go. They have no good tight ends on their roster. I think he's going to fit in with the system pretty well, get a bunch of passes. They do like to use their tight ends on the Dolphins. That's why Mike Gesicki was so good over there and then fell off, on the Patriots. Yeah, basically, that's it. Brock Bowers to the Dolphins. What else can I say? Eagles up to draft here. They're going to be looking at corner because their corners, on paper, they're good, but Darius Slay is slowly, coming down from his high. Yeah, James Bradbury has been falling off the past 2 years straight. Keely Ringo was a good late round pick last year. It was like third, fourth round or something like that. I liked him. But I think that this is where Kool-Aid McKinstry comes off the board. It's between him and where is he at? Right here. Ennis Rakestraw. Sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking it's Kool-Aid McKinstry, though. Patriots back up to pick after trading down from the 3 spot to the 11 spot, taking J.C. Latham, the tackle, looking to take their quarterback here, and I think they're eyeing up Michael Penix Jr. here. I think they want someone who can throw it down the field. He doesn't have insane arm strength, but he has some of the best deep balls you would ever see in college. It's either like, I don't know, it's either like a 10 out of 10 deep ball or like a 1 out of 10, and he misses. But he can also get it out to the barrier or to the outside very quick. Great release. He is a lefty, but, that's forgivable. Michael Penix Jr. going to the Patriots at 23. Seattle Seahawks back up on the board. I was saying earlier that they're going to take a guard in the second round. But with Jackson Powers Johnson here, it'd be hard to. But they also, Troy Fautanu, and I think he's actually 6'4", but 6'3", it says, 217. He is he is the best movement in this draft for a lineman. He will play guard at the next level. Same thing like Peter Skoronski last year. I did not like his tape at tackle, but I knew at guard he'd be good. I know Troy Fautanu would be good at guard. I think the Seahawks keep him in Seattle, and they take him here, move him to guard, play Olu at center. Troy Fatanu at 24 to the Seahawks. The Packers up. Just got Xavier McKinney. That was a great pick. Great pickup. But I think Cooper DeJean has been a Packer since the college season ended. I think that there's nothing that's going to stop the Packers from getting Cooper DeJean. He's not going to play corner. He's going to play safety, unlike what a lot of people think. And he's super athletic, super fast, great kick returner, great punt returner, whatever. He doesn't use his speed well, though. So I think that's why he'll be a better safety than corner. Yeah, he's gonna play big in the next level if he plays safety. I think that Cooper DeJean comes off the board here to the Packers. Bucks up on the board. They could do a couple things here. I think they're looking at Jackson Powers Johnson based on what the board is looking like right now. Just losing Ryan Jensen, trying to find a replacement for him. He's probably one of the best replacements we'll see in a while. Him, Zach Frazier, and Cedric Van Peren have all really piqued my interest this year. But they also do need a pass rusher with them just losing Barrett. Yaya Diaby has had a good season last year. Yeah, they could use a pass rusher. I think they're going to go Jackson Powers Johnson, though. They also did just trade Carlton Davis, though. All right, that's right. I completely forgot they traded Carlton Davis, so they do need a corner pretty badly. And they're about to lose Ryan Neal. They did just get back Antoine Winfield. That's tough to say. I think they're going to solidify their O-line before, D-line. Or before their defense. Jackson Powers Johnson to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cardinals back on the clock after the trade with the Texans last year. Got Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4. Back on at 27. Looking at whoever they want. They could use someone as a new pass rusher for them. I think Laiatu Latu finally comes off the board here. He's been waiting all day to get picked. His injuries were a really big concern with teams, I can tell that. But he's on tape the second best pass rusher in this draft behind Jared Verse. Going off the board at 27 would be a big win for whoever takes him. Granted, he can stay healthy. Two neck injuries, really hard for something to come back from. We saw DK Metcalf come back from a neck injury before, though. Laiatu Latu off the board from UCLA at 27 to the Arizona Cardinals. The Bills up on the clock. I don't think they're looking at one of the big tackles. Just getting back Deion Dawkins. I think they're looking at a wide receiver here. Whoever they like between Mitchell, Worthy, and Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman has the best tape out of the three of them. I think Keon Coleman is going to come off the board here. To the Bills, just losing Gabe Davis. Their best receiver is, Stephon Diggs, who, there's nothing to say about him. He's Stephon Diggs. We all know who he is. They do need big wide receiver too. Keon Coleman would be a perfect fit for their system too, to replace Gabe Davis immediately. A deep threat guy. Can hit the crossers, like the deep digs and everything. I think that's gonna be good fit for them. The Lions up now. Just losing Jonah Jackson. They don't really have another big need. Pass rusher is kind of a need for them, but they could also get one in the second round more. It's not as big of a need as replacing, your offensive line. Also, James Houston, who was very good in his rookie year, putting up like 8 sacks in like 7 games or something like that at the end of his rookie year. He should be back next year. Got hurt again. I think that he's going to be a good pass rusher if he can, have a consistent year of being healthy. I think they go Graham Barton here. Obviously, if you watch this film, big tackle, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's like 6'6" or something. 6'5", yeah. 6'5", big, mean, he's able to get out to the outside on like pull plays. He's able to get up to the second level. He has good hands, great strength, great power. I think that he'll be a, good piece to the Lions franchise in the upcoming years. Graham Barton to the Detroit Lions at pick number 29. At pick 30, the Baltimore Ravens are back up. They did a good thing last year, getting Zay Flowers. I do not think they'll be getting another receiver in the first round again this year, though. Losing Morgan Moses, they traded him away to the Jets. I think they're going to try and replace him immediately with Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Very, unpolished, I guess you can say, tackle. I don't think there will be a big gap between him playing in college and him playing in the NFL and, being at an elite level. 6'8", like 240, 340, sorry. And just massive hands, massive arms, very strong, just big typical tackle that you want to see. Your elite tackles nowadays, big, tall, strong, everything. Marius Mims from Georgia off the board to the Baltimore Ravens at pick number 30. Pick number 31. San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. 49ers just lost Javon Kinlaw in free agency. Traded Eric Armstead to the Jaguars. Also just lost Chase Young, so they need some help on the D-line here. They obviously still have Nick Bosa. They have Javon Hargrave. I think they're going to want another young, D-tackle to learn with Hargrave in his last few years with the 49ers. I think Byron Murphy II is going to come off the board here at pick number 31 to the San Francisco 49ers, help solidify that D-line a little more. Pick number 32, and I think we might all know where we're going with this one. Probably going to be either a tackle or Xavier Worthy. Unless Creed Humphrey can somehow, state Tyler Guyton's case for, being their new tackle. I don't think they're going to draft Tyler Guyton here. I think it's going to be Xavier Worthy. They did a really good thing drafting Rashee Rice last year. Big season from him. Marquise Brown is going to have a big comeback season, revive his career this year. They already have the corners they need, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed. I'm thinking it's going to be Xavier Worthy, get another speed demon for their team, and really, honestly, solidify that as from one of the worst pass-catching groups to one of the best pass-catching groups in the league. And just like that, the draft is over. Here's a recap of it. So, let me know what you would have done differently. I think this is going to be, it's obviously still a bit out from the draft. It's the 3rd of March. No, sorry. It's the 20th of March right now. The draft is still a bit out, but I think this is going to be, give or take, close to, if not the players, the position that these teams are going to be looking at here. In-depth analysis on why each team will take this pick. If you like this video, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.